let's talk about Spaces Protocol. So Bitcoin Conference 2026. You're going to be doing a workshop.
That's right. Going to do it on the last day. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday conference in Vegas at the last week of the month. Let me just quick show my screen here. Are you seeing it?
Yep, there it is. Looking good, looking great. This new setup's looking nice.
Alrighty. So yeah, we're using a bit of a different video sharing thing today. So yeah, it's I'm really looking forward to this, and was kind of a lot of what I'm running is off my laptop. So I was trying to figure out how to make sure that it works properly when I get there and for the conference. But I'm going to be holding it's an hour-long workshop at noon local time on the last day. We're going to be giving away subnames in the Bitcoin 2026 space. So if you're interested to come out, we'd love to have you participate if you're going to be there. And I'm going to be like talking the shit up about this, in the days leading up. And even for people that can't, if you can't make it and you really want a name, we can find a way to get you a name. But there's going to be other opportunities, I think, as we move forward. The Space Protocol went mainnet, sort of a beta launch about a week and a half ago.
Yep.
So this first little period, we want to just make sure everything's tight, I's are dotted, T's are crossed, etc. But yeah, it's all looking good. I've got things rolling and working quite well on my end, so I'm pretty happy with it. And we'll see kind of where it goes. But I think we're going to be launching into a new mode here of really trying to evangelize and get the word out about Spaces Protocol and the benefits. And there's a lot that needs to be built, kind of more supportive ecosystem sort of realm, right? So yeah, I've got a bunch of things that I've kind of started working on, but again, it's hard when it's not live, when it's not like real, when it's all still on testnet. It's hard to like get a lot of that kind of worked out. Now that we're here, we can really see where it goes. So yeah, excited.
Yeah, Spaces Protocol really ties into what we were just talking about trust and trust in a society where trust is breaking down. People are looking for ways to minimize and reduce their trust, to minimize and reduce their risk. So of course we're going to start with money. I mean, that's amazing. That's one of the most important, if not the most important things amongst communication between humans is money. But after money, we have naming, identity, and Spaces Protocol can really fill that gap with a permissionless identity system. And I say that to people, and sometimes people are like, I don't want to tie my identity to Bitcoin. I want it to be pseudo anonymous here. And I understand that. That makes sense. And that's your choice. You can create millions of subs, create these subspaces, and you could be one and done. You could use it and never use it again, just like a Bitcoin address. You could have some that you just toss away after one use, millions of them. And you could have some that you use maybe for your medical records, your professional businesses. Let's say you have a business, you use it for that. Contacts, family things. There's so many reasons why you would want to own your own personal identity. And I also think with this, people are going to start to figure out the power of spaces when the governments or whoever else, the central figures, come out and they introduce the digital IDs. There's a lot of talk about that, and maybe we can get into that in a further show. But there's a lot of talk about these centralized digital IDs. And there's a lot of pushback too. People don't want digital IDs.
Yeah, it's it's kind of scary. And there's a group that I'm involved with that is focused on, how do we as developers really kind of push the tooling and the ecosystem around decentralized IDs as an alternative to what the government is kind of pushing our way. And it's it's kind of a race, I think.
It is.
You know, what I fear the most is that, you know, when the government comes to like impose the usage of an ID scheme that they control, that they issue, that they can revoke, then all the services that they attach to it, you know, whether it's, you know, Social Security, whether it's taxes, whether it's, you know, getting paid by a, like, oh, well, you can imagine, you know, they say, well, if you've got a business license in the United States, then you have to like, you know, pay payroll through this system,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and most people are going to be like, well, I got to get paid, got to pay the rent, you know, so uh,
They're going to do it.
having an alternative, and then a set of, not only just an alternative that people pick up and start using and kind of taking their own identity into their own control, and you know, enough of an service ecosystem that then, you know, uses that feeds into that,
Mm-hmm.
then we have some alternatives. So, you know, it's got to be more than just, you know, the local farmers market, right?
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's got to be like, you know, bars and restaurants and grocery stores and, you know, hardware things, you know, where you're buying and selling stuff, you know, in your community. But it still feels like we're quite a ways up, and you know, governments can always like be working on something in the background, not really say much about it, and then spring it on us, you know, when there's a crisis that emerges. So we'll keep working, fighting the good fight, and we'll see where we can get with it.
That's right.